Assalamualaikum. Welcome to this video tutorial on simplifying Java for OOP1 students of King Faisal University and for others who want to learn Java. This is part 14 in this series and is entitled Overloading Methods in Java. The next activity is very important as it will introduce us to the concept of overloading. Overloading is the use of the same method with different numbers of parameters, including 0, and even a different return type. We will create a Java class here that will ask a user to enter the side of a square and the length and width of a rectangle. So that means there are two shapes here, a square and a rectangle. We will use non-void methods to compute the perimeter of both. The perimeter of a square is 4 times the side, while the rectangle is twice the length and twice the width. We will use overloading for all the methods, including a third void method that displays the definition of perimeter. So, in this problem, or in this activity, we're going to have three methods, but of the same name. Let's do it. We will have three inputs here, the side of the square, and the width and the length of the rectangle. The process is simple computations of the perimeter, but the more important thing to consider here is that there should be three methods with the same name. Two non-void methods for the perimeter of the square and rectangle, and a third method that is void. Notice that one non-void method has only one argument, while the other has two. Our outputs will be the perimeter of the square, the perimeter of the rectangle, and the definition of the perimeter. Let's call this project Shape Perimeters. Let's first do our three methods. All of them are public static. Two are of integer return type. Their names are all perimeter. The first method has one argument. This is to compute for the perimeter of the square. We will declare P as our perimeter. The perimeter here is equal to 4 times the side. The variable for the side here is S, and we will return P. I'll just copy this one for our second non-void method, but this time there will be two arguments, one for the length and another for the width. This time the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, and again we will return B. The third method is a void method that doesn't have any argument, and all we're going to do here is to write the definition of a perimeter. Now, what's the definition of a perimeter? Let's just say that the perimeter is the measurement of the boundary of a figure. We can now implement our three methods. Start by importing scanner. Let's instantiate our scanner. scanner system that in. Let's declare four variables, one for the side, the perimeter, the length, and the width. Whoa! What have I been thinking? It should be integer. Okay, now we can start with the square. Let's first ask for the value of the side. Enter the side. And we will place that in variable side. The perimeter of the square will be taken from, of course, the perimeter method that has only one argument, and we will pass to that method the side value. Okay, so now we can display the perimeter of the square. Dot print line. The perimeter of the square is perim. Okay, that's it for the square. Let's do another for the rectangle. I'm going to simply copy it to save me from this typing problem of mine. For the rectangle, we have to enter the length. We will put that in variable length. And another copy for the width. Which will be placed in variable width. The perimeter for the rectangle is the perimeter method with two arguments, the length and the width. Correct? Did we start with the length? Okay, yeah. The length and the width. So if we display the output, the perimeter of the rectangle is perim. Wow, we're almost done. The last method is simply going to display the definition of perimeter, and it can be called by simply calling the method without any argument. That's it. Class. Now let's try to run a program. For the square, it's of size 10. We'll make it a little bigger so everyone can see. Now this is for the rectangle. Let's say the side is 6, the length, the width is 7, the perimeter of the rectangle is 26, and the last part there is the perimeter with no argument at all. The void method. Perimeter is the measurement of the boundary of a figure. Okay, I think you've done many things already for this part, but there's one more concept that we want you to learn, and that is the methods being placed in another class separate from the class where the main method is contained. So this is activity number 28. We will revise the last activity by placing all the three methods in another class file called myMethods. So everything is still the same except that those three methods will now be inside another class which we will call myMethods. So to revise this, we have to create a new class, a new Java class. We're going to call it myMethods. Then I'll cut the three methods that we have here in shape parameters. Control X. Now there are some errors, and I'll put them inside the myMethods class. But this time I will delete this measurements, the public static, so that it will not be static. Okay, we're done with the myMethods class. We'll now go back to shape parameters to revise this. First, because this is already a class called myMethods, that means we have to instantiate an object of this class. Let's call it my user defined methods. My UDM is equal to new my methods. Okay, now that we have an object, look at this one. If I type my UDM dot, you will see that there are three perimeter methods. One without an argument, the other with an argument called S, and the other LW. So now that makes it a class. So all we have to do is to put my UDM to every method so it can be seen by our program. And the other one. Class, everyone! You've done well today in this part. So let's try to run it. Let's enter side 2 for the square. The perimeter is 8. Enter the length, let's say 3 for the rectangle. The width is 4. The perimeter is 14. And the perimeter is the measurement of the boundary of the figure, still the same. Well guys, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Mas salama.